Hi guys, welcome to our YouTube channel, IELTS Hammer. Today we decided to start a new series of IELTS videos. Now, is it possible to get a 9.0 band score for IELTS reading? Now, it is possible, guys, because we've been having so many students during the past few years, almost a decade, I would say, who scored 8.0s, 8.5s, or even 9.0 band scores. Um, I'm going to use some of the techniques used by a lot of students who actually practiced with these kind of techniques. And before going through the real question of getting a 9.0 band score, I would like to show you some background information that you would need. Now, IELTS has two main modules. We call them IELTS Academic and IELTS General. So this particular slide will give you information that you actually need for that. So academic reading the paper comes with 3 long texts of equal length. So most probably these texts are research focused or even academic. So examples, you get research papers, journals, sometimes newspapers and magazines, and also certain parts of the books as well. So when you consider the vocabulary of academic reading paper is with bit of a higher standards, right? But, I would rather say that you should not be focusing on each and every vocabulary which comes in the reading paper, right? I mean, you only have 1 hour to answer 40 questions. And if you focus each and every word of the text, it would not help in your time management strategies. Now, looking at the general reading paper, section 1 contains 2 to 3 short texts, or we call them like little passages of text. And also section 2 contains about 2 texts. Again, compared with the questions of academic, these are short text. And then the last one, the section 3, is a longer text. So the general students will definitely get their text from newspaper articles, magazines, and also company handbooks. So these texts are less challenging when you compared with the academic reading paper. So overall, general is a bit easier than academic reading. Now, let's go to the next slide. How the band scores work in here. So again, I've used 2 sides of it, academic as well as general. You can see when you score 15 correct answers out of your 40 questions, you get 5.0 band score for academic, right? But on the other hand, with general, when you score 15 correct answers out of your 40 questions, you get 4.0 band score. Now, there's a difference between the band score, it's like 1.0, okay? And if you move to 7.0 band score, which is, most commonly a lot of people are looking at 7.0s and 6.0s. So for academic, to score 7.0 band score, you need to get 30 answers correct out of your 40 questions. And then for the general students, you need to get 30 answers correct out of your 40 questions in order to score 6.0 band score. Now, the epitome or the climax of your band score is 9.0. Now, for academic students, even getting 1 answer wrong, you can still score your maximum band score, which is 9.0. But for the general students, unfortunately, you need to score 40 out of 40 in order to get your 9.0 band score. Now, why it is? Because obviously the general is much easier than the academic reading paper. So therefore, when they give marks, they give less marks. So are there any trusted materials that you could actually use before going through the exams? I mean, how do you practice, right? Now, if you surf through internet, there are a lot of websites and even YouTube channels who would say these are the sample questions, or some people would say these are the past questions as well. But you should know that in IELTS exams, you will never find past question papers. So there are no past papers available for the students to practice. However, there are mock exams, right? So these mock exams can be used as a marker for your own practice sessions. Now, where do you get these? Now, most trusted resources that you could actually have access to is IELTS organization's official website, www.ielts.org. And the other one is obviously the Cambridge. So www.cambridgeenglish.org is the other website. And also, if you look at the exam providers for IELTS, there are two main entities. So we have British Council, and also we have IDP. So if you go to their websites as well, you get some sample answers, pretty decent questions as well. And you will be able to practice them. And then the books, if you look at the books available in the market nowadays, I think, the best would be the Cambridge IELTS books. There are 17 books already in the market, but I would recommend you to go from book number 11 to 17. That would be the best that you should practice. So, all these resources that I've mentioned would come with some decent questions and decent answers, which would be quite compatible with what you get in the exam. So these are trusted resources. So don't go behind, other websites or something else of paying for past papers, because there are no past papers available for IELTS candidates. Now, looking at the reading paper, which is our main focus of this particular video, there are few reading techniques, but today I actually want to focus on the reading technique called scanning. What is scanning, guys? Scanning is actually looking for specific details in the text. So these specific details could come up with different types of questions that your paper is made of. Now, question types, there are more than 13, 14 question types in IELTS reading paper. So today I've picked one of the most difficult, or the candidates would say that, true, false, not given, or we call them TFNG, is the most difficult. Some would say matching headings is difficult, but most of the students that I've seen, they always come up with the feedback of, true, false, not given question types are as the most difficult question types. Now, today I'm going to show you one of the true, false, not given questions, or we call it TFNG. And let's see whether we could actually try getting through this. Before going through, guys, so this is actually the question. So the question would see like this, the question would look like this. Do the following statements agree with the information given in reading passage? So now when you look at this, true, false, not given, these are about information, not about the meaning or the consent of the writer. This is about information, so factual information, right? So how do you consider it's true? It is true if the statement is true only when the statement agrees with the information. So when you have exact information, the words could be quite different because the people who are making these papers would use paraphrasing as a technique to make it a bit more interesting. However, overall information of the statement agrees with the sentence or information available in the article, then we would say it's true. What is false then? False is when the statement contradicts with the information available. So you have total opposite information in the article, but the statement says something else. Then we call it false. Now, the problem for most of the students would come with deciding false and not given. This is where a lot of people, find it difficult. Now, what is not given, guys? Now, not given is that there is no information sufficient for you to decide the statement is true or false. So you have to think about both sides, whether it's true or false, and you cannot decide it. And then we call it not given. What do you mean by not given? Information is not given. So that's what we expect from here. So false is the total opposite to what's available. Now, not given is when you have no information or you don't have sufficient information to decide whether it's true or false, then we call it not given. So this is the main idea of true, false, not given. I mean, it's quite easy for me to describe this, but you need to get into the action and to practice in order to determine these things. Now, I've got a little passage here, as you can see, and we have 3 statements, right? So these 3 statements, we take the first one. You always go with the questions first in these, and that's how I would practice. But there is another technique called skimming, where you can actually go through the paragraph or the article very fast. It's not normal reading, we call it. We call it fast reading, and that's what we call by skimming. It's another technique. But today, my main focus is not about skimming. My main focus today is about scanning. So scanning is actually looking for specific information. Now, the skimming, what I just said earlier, is actually about overall understanding of the text. But when it comes to true, false, not given sort of questions, or even yes, no, not given, we would always go with the scanning bit more than your skimming. Now, let's take the first question, guys. Okay, so you always, as a first step, you go to the question, right? People were drawn from all over to see the Thames Tunnel. So my first step was to read the question or the statement. Now, the second step would be, I'm going to have keywords underlined. So for me, the key information in this one would be were drawn from, and also all over, right? Now, yeah, Thames Tunnel is also important. I know that. That would be the main focus of the whole article. So this information is obviously about Thames Tunnel. So you can get that from the topic itself. The topic says the Thames Tunnel. Okay. Now, as markers, I'm going to have were drawn from and also all over. These are the 2 main information that I would always focus on. And, these words could be in the article as same as they are in the statement, or those words can be changed, same meaning, different words. So I'm just gonna take my eyes very fast through the lines, right? And this is what we call scanning, looking for something similar to the information available in the article. So I'm not reading, actually. I'm actually searching for these kind of words. You could also take people as a marker because it's a noun And there's a proper noun as well here, Thames Tunnel. So let's have a look. Within about 10 seconds, you just go through quickly. And we have something similar to drawn from, came from, right? And also the word people is there as well. So you have two of them matching. So probably the third one would match as well. The next is obviously paraphrased, far and wide. In the statement, it says all over. So all over is being paraphrased by far and wide, right? Let's read that sentence. So this is what we need to do. Once you use the markers and spot your sentence, then you need to read the whole sentence carefully. Previously, it was speed reading, going through the article, very fast, looking for specific information. That's absolutely scanning. But in this case, you're going to read the sentence very carefully. People came from far and wide to see the first tunnel under a river. People were drawn from all over to see the Thames Tunnel. So we would say your answer is true. Now, you don't write your answers here, obviously, but I'm using it now. In your exams, you will have a separate answer sheet with little blocks, and then you have to write your answer there. And some candidates would ask whether we write T for true. Actually, the question itself will give you information. Write true if the statement agrees. So TRUE in uppercase or capital letters. So that's how you need to write your answer. Let's take the second one, guys, shall we? Statues of the tunnel could be purchased as souvenirs. It's a statement, right? Let's have a look. So I'm going to take the statues as a marker. Could take tunnel as well, why not? So now, purchased, the main information, and also souvenirs, right? Now, statues of the tunnel, okay, would be mainly focused, right? Let's have a look. So in your mind, you need to keep statues of the tunnel, purchased, and souvenirs, those three words, and start looking for them. Right, we do not have statues of the tunnel, but we have something similar, boat souvenirs, right? Let's have a look. People came long distances and bought souvenirs, right? Now, boat, purchased, same. Souvenirs and souvenirs, absolutely the same, right? But we do not have information about statues of the tunnel, right? Now, since it's missing, right, the statues of the tunnel is missing, we cannot say it's false because, you know, there could have been statues of the tunnel. It could be paintings. It could be anything, sculptures or anything. But we cannot exactly say statues of the tunnel were there or not. So we can't actually say whether it's true or false. Why? Because information available insufficient for you to come to a conclusion. So therefore, your answer for this would be not given. Right? Not given. Let's look at the final one. Right? You can do it with me at the same time and just to practice. Right? So the aim of the tunnel was to turn a profit as a tourist attraction. Right? So I'm going to go with the aim. tunnel, turn a profit information, and tourist attraction. Again, guys, do not expect these words to be in the article as they are in the statement. They can be paraphrased or used with synonyms. Now, since we've covered the first one here and then the second one here, usually, like not all the time, but 90% of the time, the questions comes accordingly to the article. The questions come accordingly, like from top to bottom. So there is a little sequencing, little order, if I would say. Now let's have a look at the last one. So you can just forget the main part of the paragraph, and you can just focus on the last section of scanning for these particular words. Now let's have a look. So we finish from here and listen to the entertainment in cross-tunnel arches. Now, entertainment is there, kind of, right? We could say it's a tourist attraction as well. But the next sentence, the idea, the aim. The idea, the aim. Very similar. Okay, let's underline that. And then of the tunnel was to turn a profit. Turn a profit. Turn a profit is there. Exactly. Right? Now, the problem is the information available in the statement says the aim of the tunnel was to turn a profit as a tourist attraction. But what does the sentence in the article say? The idea, of course, was not entertainment, but to move cargo and turn a profit. Now, this exactly says was not entertainment, or in other words, it says was not as a tourist attraction, but to move cargo and then turn a profit. So even grammatically, you can see this sentence is obviously affirmative, right? And this part of it is negative, right? So it's total opposite to what's given in the article. Therefore, you can conclude the last question as false. Right? Now, what you learn from this particular activity? Now, the main issue with reading paper going to be, pretty sure it's going to be time management, because as an example, right? If you had like 3 hours to answer these 40 questions, I'm pretty sure that you're going to get 38, 39, or 40 out of 40. Unfortunately, we only have 60 minutes to answer all these 40 questions. So time management will play a key role of getting through these questions. So it's not only about language when it comes to IELTS. It's all about time management skills as well. Sometimes you might see that, even if you don't know certain parts of the language, you can still score marks if you trust about the techniques. So now scanning is one of the main techniques that you should be using. So guys, we tried to give you, some good information and little techniques and tips, practically how to use them in a question. And I hope that you really enjoyed today's video, because this is like kind of our first video to address the IELTS candidates. Subscribe our YouTube channel, which is IELTS Hammer. And if you're looking for classes, we have weekly classes, obviously weekday nights, and also we have weekend classes as well for you. So you can use this number, +9 4771766577 on WhatsApp, and ask for more information about the courses. And also you can use our email address, which is info@nses.guru. Try sending us an email if you're inquiring about our classes as well as courses. And also you can go to our Facebook page, which is www.facebook.com/IELTS facebook.com/newlandscollege.english. And you can also visit our website, which is www.nses.guru. Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope that you got enough information for this particular task, and also about the reading paper as general. So please stay tuned, and do not forget to subscribe our channel and also hit the bell button for further videos for you to succeed in your IELTS journey. Thank you so much. See you soon.